sweetheart. Well, Johnny is off to hang with his robot team for the day. It's kind of going to be a lot of Saturdays during the summer. Gray's here. And you'll see him tonight. I'm going to reserve my Model 3 t-shirt. Your very first Tesla t-shirt is looking a little worse for wear now, but it's been a long
8 years old.
It's been a long time. Robot got 14.9 last night.
Yeah, but it just said it was a minor update.
Well, that doesn't mean anything. Okay. When have you known those guys to be overly verbose? I mean, I can be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that was less nags, but...
Yeah, well, the only nag I got today was legitimate. I was I was monkeying with the cooling seats.
You went to turn it on or something?
Right.
Don and I aren't good about voice navigation in the car, and I think it's because you got to remember, I don't know, it just works. In the house, we're good with it, and in the car, we forget.
Right.
Like, I'm sure there's a way to say, my butt's hot.
Right.
Or something, and it'll start cooling the seats. Yeah. So I need to teach that to Dawn.
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah. Well, I'm just ready for no wake. I just need a wake word. This having to press a button is just not ever going to work for me.
Yeah, and I actually messed up trying to put the address in 3 times, or maybe it was 4, with voice command, because, I had that problem with Jules. It's like, sometimes you just push the button, let go, and start talking, and it would work. And then sometimes if you had, it's like you had to hold the button. It's like, anyway, the bottom line is, right now on Robot, the correct way to send voice navigation is push the button once, take your finger off, and start talking. And that worked perfectly when I finally did that.
Right. Well, Don was having trouble in the garage with light my garage, or headed to the house. Right. And the reason out there seems to be is you really need to say headed to the house. You can't say headed to the house really fast like that, or he have to take a breath. And most of the time now, Dawn's taking a breath, and then she's accepting his command, because
I agree.
He's in and out of the garage a lot, and you need lights, and you don't need, on and on. It's a thing we do, and it's multiple switches over there you have to hit, so just being able to issue the command is good.
Well, yeah, particularly what happens with me is I turn on one side or the other based on what my original intention was of doing something. And then when I get out there, I need to go do something. It's on the other side of the garage, so I need the other lights turned on. So that's usually what causes me to
Yeah, that over efficiency. Sometimes it comes back and bites you in the... Yeah. Anyway.
So I let Robot drive all the way down the driveway, and it faked me out. As I approached the garage door, I hit the button before we got to the garage door. When we were coming up the hill, as soon as the little dialogue to open the door popped up, I hit the open button, and it's like it actually swung like.
Oh my God! It might go in the garage.
Yeah, exactly, or at least stop. But as soon as it got there, it went the other way. It's like.
It's coming, Donnie.
Yeah.
I promise it's coming. Yeah. I promise.
Yeah.
Just hold on a little while longer, Donnie.
Oh, I know. But it really is like, but no, it didn't quite do it.
Well, I am better today, but not 100% yet. Well, I clearly wasn't 100% yesterday afternoon. Yeah. I gotta, excuse me. We don't eat on Mom's tree.
Yeah.
I can't ignore that. Lots of things I ignore that happen in the background while we're filming. The cat eating the tree is not one of them. So we'll try to do a little something today. I'm not going to go walk in remote places for far distances. And it's also, the wet bulb globe is yellow, and it's going to be 92 and high humidity today. So it's one of those days in NC where especially when we're not used to it yet, because we're really not used to the summer. You know how people live in cold climates, the first couple colds is like, it feels refreshing. The mild colds feel refreshing, but then the really cold, we have to ease into heat here, the way I imagine some people have to eat. Well, we ease into cold in the fall too. Is you got a couple of days, your body sort of get, oh yeah, it's going to be hot from now on. Let me switch into hot mode. We'll do something later. We'll drive robot. I'll go back with Dawn to pick up Johnny this evening, whenever time that is. By the time he's leaving from where he's leaving, which is north of Durham, we can get, we can.
Like a 90-minute drive.
Yeah, so we will leave a little after that. But if he warns us, I'm leaving there now, our ETA is blah, 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 we can finish up what we're doing and head that way. Don's donating blood today because he feels fine, and it's a convenient location, a convenient day, and they made him an offer for his O negative blood. He can't pass up. I'm sick. Obviously, I could not say that I am well, so obviously I won't be donating. Yeah. I'll just go in Walmart and have a good time. Right. The money that you make, I'll spend. Yeah, probably not. Walmart's not like other places maybe, but if it were the Lego store, you could be worried. But but Walmart's probably not a super big worry.
That's right.
Anyway, good morning, everybody.
Good morning. I'm glad you're doing better, sweetie. I really am.
Thank you. Well, the bird fee is going off nonstop this morning with visitors, and so that's good. Don had to hit the reset button on it yesterday after we had that entirely cloudy day. I don't know that the clouds had anything to do with it. The butterfly bush, maybe you can see out there. I'll zoom in the little bit that this camera zooms. Is all big white spikes today. I would love to see some butterflies on it. And the deer got the flowers on the pink hydrangea over here. I mean, really, guys, they left one, and there were 4 or 5 others that they came through and ate. So if that's all they ate, but I really don't want them in the yard and don't want them eating anything, and I was enjoying those pretty pink blooms, so why did it have to do that? That was unkind. Last but not least, let's get Morris some food. Hey, buddy, how you doing? Look at Marty. Well, you've gone back to sleep. Hi, Morris. Come on, good boy. Showing everybody your jumping power. Hi. Hey, Mart. Hey, Mart. Missed you beside me on the couch this morning, but that's okay. Hey, Morris. Stripey! I'm sure he'll be rubbing my ankles here real soon. Well, I came outside twice yesterday and was assaulted is not the word I want to use, but inundated, overwhelmed. No, all of those sound negative. It's a good thing. I like the smell of gardenia. This gardenia is really got a lot of blooms on it right now, and it smells fantastic. The mosquitoes are so bad, I'm having to move quick. I've got bites all over my arms today. I'm not enjoying it out here like I would like to. I mean, I want to be out here and I'm enjoying it, but the mosquitoes are ruining it. And the deer. They have topped off the New Guinea impatiens, so they're not going to bloom for a while. I do have my first gardenia bloom. And I see another bloom here, and here, and here, so that's nice. And they didn't eat those. But I have my first gladiola bloom, and they didn't eat it. And there's 1, 2, 3 more getting ready to bloom at least. It's getting to the point where I need to mow, but that's just not happening today. It's too wet, and I don't feel good enough. It is almost gone. I'm late. I cooked 3 pounds of bacon. Don's, donating blood, so I'm making sure he's fed. I decided we were going to walk and then eat. Whoops, that was a little high. We were going to walk and then eat, and then I decided we would eat and then walk. Right. And Don's fixing my vacuum cleaner again. I don't know what I would do without you. Well, the power head went out and you had to put a new power head on and cleaning the damn thing.
Would you like to know when that power head went out?
When?
You want to guess?
Has it been longer than I think?
Yes.
3 years.
That's correct. It's March of 2022.
Well, I expect my appliances to last 10 to 15 years. And it's a good thing I have a husband who's talented at fixing things, because appliances break, from my perspective, every other minute.
Yeah.
So
they do seem to break a lot.
And I don't like buying new stuff, really. I mean, there's things I want to buy, and then there's things I don't want to spend money on. And a new vacuum cleaner, and they don't make that one anymore. So Ryobi figured out it was no good. But the new one, the design doesn't work for me, so I don't want it. So Don keeps fixing this one. Remember, the battery, you can't charge it on board. You have to take the battery out.
Oh, right. Okay.
And we have it where it charges on board and we don't have to swap batteries around. And
yeah, it works very good.
But you know, it would work just fine as long as you were the one managing the battery charging. But it's sometimes hard to get the Ryobi batteries out. Not the little tiny 2.5 amp hour. My little girl hand can squeeze that properly. But the really big one, sometimes I can't get it off of things, and then I cuss and I handed it Dawn. So, but maybe my grip's better now.
Well, I've struggled with getting the 4 amp hour battery off. I mean,
I think it requires a certain grip, and well, my left hand's had carpal tunnel surgery, and it's just wide to get the grip you want.
No, that's right.
Anyway, Dawn's fixing my vacuum cleaner again, so I can vacuum. It's very important to be able to vacuum over here.
Well, I'm out in the garage and I'm working on this head, which we bought in March of 22. And as you can see, it's stopping and starting. And so there's obviously a wire is broken. I've got it hooked up to the bench power supply. You know, it could have been the connector on the hose, the tube, but it's not. It's definitely a wire, probably in this joint right here. So I'm going to take it apart and see what I can do, because like I said, we've been using this now for 3 years. Well, of course, it was a broken wire. I had to disassemble the thing to get the wire out. So I'm going to replace both wires. And I'm going to use some of that fancy flexible silicone jacketed wire that Johnny's got for his robots. That stuff's super flexible.
So I think when I filmed on this morning, I said that 2025.14.9 went on, which is full self-driving 13.2.9. I think we were previously on 14.3 is what I want to say. Release notes. Okay, let's make sure we tap it. And Dawn said it's just minor fixes this morning, and that's because, well, I guess I thought 14.7 was the big one, but maybe it was 14.6. Talks about all of this new stuff. 36 hertz full resolution, video inputs. I mean, there's just so much stuff here. I'm not going to read all of that, but it was a huge rewrite. I mean, and this 14.1 back here, you know, this one's not telling us what the FSD release, but I think we just went to version 13 is what I was trying to tell Dawn, I think. And so 14 is a dot step up, but I guess 14.6 was the real release, and it has all of this stuff in it. So,
but is the reduced nags there?
I just heard that on X because I'm on X so much. So, improvements to false braking and slower driving in parking lots.
That's upcoming?
No. Oh, upcoming improvements. Okay. So I don't think it says that. I think that was just people's interpretations.
Right. They may have noticed less nags. Although Elon said that soon there's going to be less nags. He said something like that.
Right. It's supposed to have speed profiles on both city streets and highways. I don't know how that's integrated. I guess if we come over here under, and the fan speed I feel is up too high for, well, that's on front. I don't know. Where's the fan speed for front? I want to lower it. And it's like, well, that's right. I really don't understand. I shouldn't have to turn auto off. I should just change something and auto should go off. That's the way it either still works in Ruby or used to work in Ruby. That's just not intuitive for me personally. But I was trying to see over here is, I guess under autopilot is where the speed profiles are. You know, how does it, where on here is something that says the difference between city and highway? I don't see anything new. All right, anyway, I'm not up to walk into the lake and back today, but we're going to drive over to the Greenway Trail and test out this new release for you guys on 14.9, and then we're probably just going to come back to South Park and are we having a little, our screen not being sensitive enough? I don't know. This is where you went this morning, so let's put in the Greenway Trail. Okay, and let me, before you take off, I'm going to stop and restart the video so the talking isn't in the same clip as the video clip. That'd just be better for me. And we're off. You don't have the I can invoke it yet, right? Ah, okay.
Yeah, I had to I put my foot on the brake one
Now
more
she
time.
says 5 mile an hour, 6.
It says 25.
Oh yeah, the speed limit's 25. Yeah, I mean, I don't take the driveway this fast. So.
Yeah, but you're not an AI. You're just old.
Yeah, that's because I know there's
Analog
deer and trees and the creek. I just saw the hawk fly across the cul-de-sac a second ago. I think I forgot to put the picture in, but Dawn did see one of the owls a couple of nights ago.
Yes, I did.
So that was goodness. It had been what felt like a week.
Yeah, a while.
I mean, it's still hot and humid today.
Yeah, it's plenty toasty.
We've got a little over 2 hours until dawn. Well, that was nice of him.
Nice leisurely left turn.
Right. Well, and she didn't slow up because I didn't feel like she slowed up as much as she should have. And he certainly, the guy in the pickup truck, basically came into our lane to come into the neighborhood like an, I'm sorry, I was going to call him something not polite.
Like he owned the place.
Yeah. I try not to disparage people. Maybe he was momentarily distracted, but, you know, pretty much stay in your lane,
Well,
if at all possible.
I would say almost there's no way she would have hit him. I mean, it might have been closer than we would have liked, but I basically believe in a normal, any kind of close to reasonable traffic scenario, the car's not going to hit anything in the front. In other words, if that stuff where you're following behind a car doing 75 miles an hour and it changes lane and right there in the middle of the road is another car dead stop, yeah, maybe it's going to hit that. But I'm talking in a normal, like that guy right there, she saw him 9 ways from Sunday just like I did. And I don't, like I said, she may not have been concerned and maybe went a little too far forward, but I don't think she would have said, well, I'm just going to hit him. Because he's doing wrong.
I would have took over. It was closer than I wanted it to be.
Right, I would agree. It was closer than I wanted it to be too.
But notice Dawn is trying to do a good video, I guess.
Wit taught me. You know, you just gotta
let it do.
Just gotta let it do. Unless it's absolutely doing something that you can tell is going to be a disaster. Because let me tell you, when he made that left turn out of the parking lot onto that busy street, traffic coming everywhere, and there was a gap about all of 1/4 of an inch between cars, and somehow that car inserted. I was like, okay.
Well, she saw this car
She saw
come
it.
and hesitated at the last
Yeah,
minute. Actually, there were cars coming in both directions.
Yeah. No, I can't go yet.
Yeah, I don't know why we got to go. I don't know why we got to go all the way to the greenway to make a quote unquote tough left turn, because
This one can be.
this one can be pretty tough, and today is showing just exactly why it's that tough.
Yeah, well, the thing is when they're flying over that hill there, that's what makes this one bad.
Yeah, there's no visibility to the right, and people coming into town aren't slowing to 35, and people leaving town are trying to speed up to 55, even though they're just moving into a 45 zone.
Yeah,
All right, well, she got us out of there, okay.
Yeah, I probably would have took that same gap. She did it with authority. I mean, she did not hesitate. She said, well, you know, I can make this, and she made it.
Right, well, I want to say that for a while now, concern over the cars like stopping in the middle of the intersection has dissipated. Oh God, is she going to split the difference there? Curb your wheels. Holy, I couldn't look. I had to look away. I couldn't look.
Oh, it was fine. She had at least 6 inches on each side.
Oh goodness. Okay.
I did say at least.
At least.
Yeah.
Boy, that was very human too. Like, what do you mean you know what, pulling in front of me? Let me get real close to you just to let you know I'm not happy with you. I might know that because I've done that a time or two, but
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. Oh goodness. I try not to do that. But I am human.
Be a better person.
So where is she turning? She thinks she's turning onto Old Cunnycut. That just won't do.
Right. Well, there you go.
And that was the one we did the other day where somehow I want this
There
route.
you go.
I think that's the right route. I
That's
picked
right.
the middle one the last time, and
Yeah.
today I picked the...
That's right. You did good. I agree that this is the route we want.
Yeah, Holland all the way over to 55. Okay, that's good. I think it was appropriate. We went through that yellow light. That didn't bother me.
Yep, I agree. I would have went.
Yeah, I went through a yellow light that probably turned red with me driving while I was going through it the other day, and the guy behind me came through it too, so I guess it was a good thing. It's almost not safe to stop sometimes. Yeah.
If you think, oh, should I stop for this yellow light? One of the first decision points should be not
How close is the guy behind
How close
me?
is the person behind you?
Yeah.
That should be like the first decision, because you could slam on the brakes and probably make it, but that person is going to rear end you. And you're probably less likely to be in an accident. Now, they may get in an accident, but you're not going to be in an accident going through the intersection.
So you'll love yesterday's video title.
I will.
Sort of parking. Will you please park already? Or something like that.
Yeah, sort of parking.
Sort of parking is what the car's doing lately. It's it's a move between not parking at all and actually parking. So
yeah, at least it's getting
it's
out of the traffic
getting
lane.
out of the lane.
Which what might have been what that FSD thing was trying to say. It has better something, slow speed and maneuvering in parking lots. That may have meant it's going to get out of the middle, because it used to just, the first time it stopped over at the South Park, it just stopped in the middle of the traffic lane. You know, this next time it pulled in head first, so that wasn't a park, but at least it got out of the traffic flow.
Now here's our favorite four-way stop. There actually aren't, well, there aren't a lot of four-way stops around here that are as busy as this one. There's a few other four-way stops, but this one,
yeah, this one is
by far, I want to say, the busiest one of all.
Girl.
Okay,
Go,
what
go,
are you
go,
doing?
Go.
She-
I'm coming.
She let him go. Wow, she hasn't messed up, in our opinion, this four-way stop yet. I mean, you know, did we safely get through it? It was very human, not understanding it's your turn to go.
Right. That's that rule. The person, well, first of all, we were there first, period. But the person to the right certainly has the right of way.
Maybe there was more motion coming into the intersection than she could handle. We'll just pretend like we waved the BMW on the left to go through. We did not.
Well, maybe she knew it's a BMW and they're not going to wait.
Donnie, don't say that.
They're special people.
Well, a lot of people think Tesla drivers are special people. You know, there are those kinds of drivers out there. They drive all kinds of cars.
Special people won't, but I'm not driving. You know, that was all on her.
Right. Well, I'm going to say my opinion today so far has been that I was slightly more comfortable the last 2 times we drove Robot over here than today.
Right.
That's just a gut feel so far. Was the last 2 times coming over here where it felt a little safer.
Well, I felt the left turn off of Wagstaff onto 4 Main Street there. I thought that, although it was a long wait, I feel safe. I don't think she did anything. I don't know that I would have been any quicker getting out there. I think that she handled it fine because there just was a lot of cars. And then person making a left turn, that's not always happens every time. You know, most people go continue across there, but that once minivans made the left turn, and so that slows down the process a little bit.
All right. Well, I'm gonna point to the right here and see what we're gonna see.
Well, if she would go, she could go. Yeah,
She's going.
she did. That was great. Now I don't know if she understood there is a that lane there, the center lane.
Well, considering what she did in front of Guardian Angel that day, where she used the middle lane to get into traffic, I'm gonna say she does understand it.
I agree, but I don't know if she. I totally 100% agree. My questioning is, was that only because that was a 5-lane and this is just a 3-lane?
Right.
In other words, she already getting across 2 lanes, the center lane to get into the 4th lane traffic lane is much more involved than just going across 2 lanes.
Right. Well, as a human driver, you know, there's the anticipation of somebody changing into that lane you think you've got at the last minute, which is why sometimes I hesitate to use them, because I've seen that happen.
Right, exactly correct.
The lane's empty, you know you can make it to that lane, but the anticipation of, will the other humans on the road stay in the lane they're in?
Hard to say. Well, there's nobody crawling up our bumper. There's somebody back there, but they're not crawling up
No,
our
they're
bumper.
not.
As long as she uses
Well, since she's turned in the last 2 times, I think she's going to turn in fine today too.
I agree.
She'll put the signal on, and
Yeah.
I said she'll put the signal on.
Yeah. And the person is paying attention back there.
Although they did get very close there at the end.
Yeah.
There's no one in the parking lot
Right.
today.
This is not a comfortable walk in the middle of the day on a hot day, because the shade, the way the trees are.
And she's pulling us off.
Yeah, but that's
Right, this is not real parking though. This is
getting out of the traffic flow of the parking
right.
area.
This is appropriate for pulling up to let someone hop in or out of the car.
That's right. I agree.
All right. Well, that's 3 times in Robot now.
Yeah, I should have tried her backing out of that parking place.
Yeah, that's all. Don did eventually engage there, but he had already done part of the maneuver himself.
Right.
I saw Don was listening to something, and I'm like, you know, I heard what that person said yesterday. I don't know who you were listening to, but
No idea.
it just popped up.
I haven't listened to anything.
Anything today? Yeah.
Because I was going to listen to my podcast to and from Johnny, dropping him off, but, you know, the nag, you can't touch your phone.
Yeah, well, I don't know what that was about. I'll just leave it be. But anyway, there were 2 people on X yesterday that said incredibly stupid things in the middle of the, I don't know, spat between Trump and Elon. And
The breakup.
Steve Bannon and Newt Gingrich were the two people that said the things that I thought were the absolute stupidest things I had ever heard in my entire life. So anyway, we'll just leave it there. The rift seems to be slightly, if they'll just do what JD Vance said today on X, the voice of reason in between the two and a couple of other people, I guess it'll, you know, the thing I always told my kids and other people is there were multiple times in my life, and usually at night in the evening, where I thought the world was coming to a complete and utter end. And I promise every day, the next day, in the sunlight, in the brightness of day, things will seem at least a little better, and they'll get better from there. So I still feel that way. And it's hard to maintain the same level of upset or anger or anything from the day before into the next day. I think it's just how humans work. But whatever it was that would have me upset as a young person in the evening, the next day, things would. Even if they were still bad, they were never that bad. I have no clue if this is it's probably a accident or a broken down vehicle.
They've got water bottles. I think it's a mechanical problem.
Sure. So we're just headed back to South Park. We're going to walk around the track a little bit. I'm sure Don would appreciate 30 minutes to close his eyes before he goes and gives blood. It's gotten a little late in the day on us.
It's okay. I can make, but yeah, I always take a nap. I mean, I always, no.
Well,
time.
I wasn't trying to keep Don from his nap today. It just, and plus I fed you really well. But the vacuum, let's just say, I think the vacuum cleaner quote unquote repair took just a little longer than you anticipated because it was more involved than you realized. It wasn't I'll just take out the roller bar and maybe I didn't insert it properly when I cleaned it a week ago or something like that. So, because we knew what it sounded like this time was it intermittently, motor would stop running. Right. Yeah, and Don didn't have his phone in the garage, but he finished the repair and.
Right, I forgot to make a
final video. It's running. He came in and he tested it on the carpet and yeah, I think my message is every time you clean the roller bar, you got to run it on the carpet when you bring it back in the house and make sure you're happy with it before turning it back over to the wife.
That's right. I passed the test.
Yes, exactly.
And it passed.
It passed the test. Yes, exactly. Oh, wow. Look at there was a little orange dot that came on over here.
Really?
Yeah, but she's turning left.
No idea.
No, seriously. There was an LED. I'm sure it showed up on camera, so what am I missing about that LED?
No, I never heard of it. Because I don't have that's the speaker. I think that's the speaker.
Well, I know it's a speaker, but I'm telling you there was an LED lit up over there. I guess we'll be going to research something we don't know about our car.
Well, that's not going to take very long. I mean, we're going to be there a long time. We hear bacon.
All right, so I am interested to see where in South Park she thinks she's going to take us. Because we've been having that discussion in the last week, too. The GPS that we told her to take us to, or some other place in the parking lot. And which entrance will she use? Because we're coming at South Park from a different direction.
Right.
We're not coming from home today. We're coming from town. So will she go straight across at the light and then turn left in to park near where she parked the last time? Or will today she decide to make the left turn and go in where we typically want her to go in? I don't know. Yeah, I'm not feeling up to today to, doing the weights. I know we missed Friday and we had talked briefly about doing it today. But, if I'm still not 100% well, I mean, I would go into Walmart, but I don't think I need to go into the gym where I'll be touching equipment that like every other person in the gym will be touching. So Hopefully by Monday we can get back at it. But we were listening to Dr. Dan. What's his first name? It's Dr. He's Indian, and it's Dan.
Yeah,
like it has an H in it, and Suheed,
something like that.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't mean to mess it up. I'm just trying to tell you who he is because we think pretty highly of him. And he had a video out about basically if your loved one's in the hospital and they were
older,
they were ambulatory before they got in there, just the second they can be they can get up and walking around again, you get on the staff to make sure they are up, and you make sure they are up 3 times a day no matter what. Do not let them get muscle atrophy. Do not let them be ignored, or we don't have time, or we're too busy today, or you help them up with tips on how to make it safe for them. He didn't actually say that, but I'm saying it. So yeah, well, so the left turn is on.
It comes on and off. This is the third time.
Right, but we are not in the left-hand turn lane. No. We cannot turn from this lane, and she sees the line markings. And even if she's
trying to go around
she
these
says
people.
0.1 miles.
Right, she's
she should be able to see the red light. So anyway, it's inappropriate to put on the left turn signal prior to reaching the other side of the intersection. It's confusing for people on this side of the intersection.
I don't think that's what she's doing. I think she's thinking these people are idiots and they're stopped at a light and they won't go through.
She's having a little problem with a left-hand turn that's too close to the intersection. Do not try to make a left-hand turn here.
She's going to turn off the turn signal. I said she's going to turn
I
off the
don't believe
turn
that.
signal.
I just think she my opinion, I think she just inappropriately turned it on before the intersection. See, there's the darned, I'm telling you, it has something to do with cars passing you on that side. I don't know. We're going to look it up. That I have now seen the orange LED twice that I have never seen before.
It's not safe to get over, is what you're trying to say.
I guess. Well, this is about exactly the same spot. It's really close to the same parking spot she put us in.
Still not parking. It's just pulling into.
Okay, let's please integrate.
She's hit stop though. I mean, she did that. I did not do that. I didn't put it in park.
Right. She's in park.
She's in park. She's
yeah.
not in a
right. Well,
not well parked, but you could exit the vehicle like this. And she's not holding up traffic.
Yeah. So these are just a few little things that the cars do on occasion. Like, I was trained to never change lanes in the middle of an intersection, and Ruby does that on occasion. I'm like, no, that's not where you change. You either change lanes before the intersection or after the intersection. Coach Bryant was very clear that you don't. There's too many moving parts in the middle of the intersection that increases your risk of an accident, he would say. So I don't know if that's a law or written in the books in some or more states. And the same thing there is no human driver would put on the left turn signal prior to.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'm pointing at you too, and I'm hitting him down here like, look.
I thought it was like you wanted me to shut up.
Well, sometimes I do, but this wasn't one of them. And then the other.
I can't figure it out. That's the guy.
Yeah, I knew he was going to say that. That's his excuse. Well, I'm just a poor dumb guy. I'm like, no, I know better than that. That's nice try, Mickey, but no. So I figure sometimes they like to actually see us versus the front of the building for 5 minutes while I run my mouth. No, I don't think so. Anyway, the other thing, the turn signal back there was wrong.
I agree.
If there were a way I could report it was wrong, I would report it. We would have had, I guess, disengaged FSD.
I think it's not I don't think it's a law or anything, but I believe you were correct. It's convention that you shouldn't. You should wait, either get over before the intersection or before or after, but not in the middle of the intersection. Be changing lanes. I agree that with or without a turn signal, it doesn't matter if you turn your turn signal on or you don't change lanes in the middle of an intersection.
Yeah. See, sometimes I do this too when he looks away and I want him to look back. I just kind of start rubbing on his arm. I don't always just swat him.
She's really sweet to me, y'all. She's a keeper. I love my girl.
I keep you straight.
Well, yeah. Well, she keeps me on my toes. There's no doubt about that.
Dawn chose a parking space to auto park, and she did an emergency alert, take over immediately, blah, blah, blah.
Mama got me a strike. And I was sitting dead still, and I got a strike.
I don't think you got a strike, and I can prove that you don't have a strike. Let's see. You don't have any strikes. Okay?
Okay.
Phew! But he has had one strike on this car already. and it was not deserved. It was one of those times like, well, I'm just screwed because the car gave me a strike for no reason. All right, we're going to go around the track a few times.
That's a really sharp looking Model Y right there, baby.
Yeah, I wonder whose new Y that is.
Yeah, really.
There is a ruby vintage red Model X that just came a little fast through the parking lot. Mom must have been late to pick up the kids from the splash pad. She either hung something up over her mirror or her mirror is busted. Well, there are certainly a lot of families enjoying the splash pad today, and it's the perfect day for it. Plenty hot. Please, I'm begging you, don't take balloons to parties at local parks. Just don't do that. And in this case, not only did they bring balloons, but they were balloons that had confetti inside of them. So when the metal confetti, metallic looking confetti inside.
Mylar disc.
Yeah, Mylar disc. Then when we, unbeknownst to us, popped it to put it in the trash, the confetti went everywhere. In your own house, in your own backyard, please feel free to litter your yard that way. But don't bring that stuff. I'm sure the town has rules against it too. If you're going to use a public space, a picnic pavilion, I know I'm preaching to the choir here. The kind of people that will watch our videos wouldn't do that, but or maybe if you hadn't thought about it before, it's not a good idea. Yeah, Don and I will take it home and cut it and make sure it goes into the trash can the next time. We won't risk popping it was a latex balloon. I'm sure it was filled with helium, but that leaks out, so it's just lying in the shrubbery. It's a Texas plate, and yeah, unfortunately the mirror is broken. I wonder if they got a deal on it. Usually people that buy them brand new, things are a little different. Last I had heard, and this is just reading Facebook or X posts, it's like $650 to $700 to replace that mirror. We've been walking for close to 30 minutes, and we actually ended up inside and I did 15 minutes on the exercise bike and then wiped it down with the alcohol wipes really good, and Dawn did 15 minutes on the elliptical, and then one bench press set. Man, I really want to go after some deer. I guess I'm supposed to be thankful they didn't go after this or didn't eat that, but yet a lot of the impatiens, I noticed the dogwood trees in the front yard had some damage. I mean, they pretty much just went through and just munched wherever they felt like munching. I'm not happy. I'm not happy at all. And I haven't put lavender out lately because every time I turn around, it's raining again. Guess at some point it doesn't matter where Morris is hanging out. Very cute. We went home and cleaned up, and Don's headed to the Bloodmobile while I walk around. The bus is Thomas today. Doesn't look like Thomas the Tank Engine to me. All of the buses are named. Not seen Thomas before. $7 for geranium hanging baskets. It's not a horrible price, but I don't need another geranium. That's a pretty coleus, but not for 15. I'm back in Robot. Don says he's on the couch, but they haven't stuck him yet. He donates in like 7 minutes, so he'll be out in 15. It's fine. I knew I would be waiting a little bit. So I turned on the radar, the weather overlay, and you can pause it because it's got like a 2.5 hour loop, something like that. but you can't zoom in when you pause it. Now, I know that we're like here, where my finger is, because I'm used to looking at the map, but still. And if I play it, I guess these storms are moving north to south and they think they're fizzling along the way. I just kind of doubt that. Let me pull up the radar on my phone and see. I saw the clouds when I got in the car, and they're moving west to east. And I'd say the one coming out of Sanford is likely to hit us. So, we'll see. As long as there's no hail in it. Now, I'm sitting in the car and my phone was about to die, so I plugged it in. I know, when is my phone not about to die? And the accessory switches apparently aren't working, even though I have the air conditioning on. I turned off climate keep. Maybe that was my mistake. Maybe I should have left climate keep on. But Don had pushed it up to 80 and I wanted it back down to 70 while I sat here. Yeah, I don't know if that put the auxiliary, accessory, whatever you want to call them, on. But the thing of it is I can't remember where it is. So let me see. Yeah, keep accessory power on is on. So I don't know why it's not charging. I need my phone to charge. Maybe the cable in the back was loose. I just put my hand on it. That's possible too. Well, we'll see if I get my phone back in a minute. Kind of frustrating. You know, every once in a while, Apple takes 3, 5, 10 minutes to reboot, but most of the times it's really fast and it's already coming back on. So either putting on climate keep or wiggling where the cable goes in at the back fixed it. And I'm getting juice now, so that's good. You know, it's beginning to feel a little bit like Florida, where it rains every afternoon, whether you want it to or not.
Yeah, pretty much.
We tried to drive around it and avoid it, and it just wasn't. We went to Holly Spring instead of home, and then it just didn't work out. So I was gonna get out and go walk around the Lowe's clearance, and then it started to rain heavy right at the Lowe's, and I was like, well, I guess we're just gonna, we've tried to avoid it and we can't. So I hated getting robot dirty. We continued, including today, to have robot turn on the windshield wipers at least once every day while we're in FSD. But not the repeated, like it's going to ruin the windshield and the wipers because the window's dry, and it's not supposed to be doing that. But just like I think I'll just say hello with the windshield wiper and then stop. So I guess I would have hoped that would have stopped with the updated release, but it didn't, because it did it today too.
Yeah, sure did.
And Don's driving right now.
Right, because I wanted to stay back from the cars a little bit. Not get so much spray.
Well, that is one of the continued common complaints, is that you can't set the following distance like we used to be able to in FSD. I guess you can in just regular autopilot, but you can't in FSD. Well, that's because it was there in autopilot and they've stopped caring about that. They don't update that anymore. They never removed it there. They didn't.
Yeah.
You know, so.
It's just another reason why we got to have chauffeur modes. Like I say, robot, you're following too close. Back off.
Yeah. I'm looking for a rainbow, but I'm not seeing one. It's a little darker in the video than it actually is in front of us. But with the sun behind, oh, there's a rainbow. I can see it now.
Yeah,
a little faint hint of a rainbow over the tree there. Yeah.
Yeah, I sure can.
Well, I mean, we should be able to see one with the sun over my shoulder, behind my shoulder, so. You know, if we're going to get the car dirty, we should at least get to enjoy a rainbow. I hope we can see it on the video. Well, Johnny hasn't left North Durham yet. He hasn't contacted us, and that's fine. I'm going to go home and make us a steak. And hopefully we have enough time to do that before. But like I said, it's going to take him longer to get to the guy's house than it is for us to get to the guy's house. So we've got a little bit of time no matter what. I'm sure Don would be happy if he got his steak and he got his nap.
That's right.